Hey guys, so in this video I'll be taking you through the use of envelopes in clips, and why they can be useful and also how they can be counterproductive sometimes, and also how to avoid it. I'll also be covering automation inside the arrangement view. Alright, so first off let's cover envelopes. So here I have an 8-bar melody from the song Glitch Boy by Kid. It's being played by a detuned saw wave from Serum, because in this house we use Serum. So yeah, this is what it sounds like. Double clicking on the clip in the arrangement view will bring up the MIDI clip section. This is your note editor. So this is where you draw your notes to create melodies, chords, drum patterns, etc, etc. Now, note editor has two views. It's got your standard where you write your notes and it'll play back to you. And then there is down here at the bottom left of the corner, and you get your envelope button. This will take you to the envelope editor. When opening a MIDI clip, it should default to the pitch bend of the notes, whereas in an audio clip, it'll default to clip volume. These can be found just here under the envelope section. So here we have pitch bend, and if we go into an audio track, we have clip volume. When you're editing your envelopes, you'll get these two subcategories just left of the notes and the waveform. These give you the option of what you want to edit. In MIDI, you get the option to edit things like pitch bend, you got your modulation, panning, volume, portamento time, etc, etc. Most of these will only be available on a MIDI keyboard, but pitch bend is just, pretty much what you're going to be using most of the time on MIDI. However, in an audio clip, you get the choice of volume, transposition, grain size modulation, flux modulation, or sample offset. Those won't really come in handy just yet, so we'll be just using volume modulation and transposition. To edit an envelope, there's a few ways to do it. Let's go back to the MIDI selection to try it. You can also draw them in by pressing B on your keyboard or hitting the draw mode button just up here at the top right of your screen. Once you've put it in draw mode, you'll be able to click and drag your mouse to draw shapes of your automation. While still in this mode, we're using either Control on Windows or Command on keyboard, you're able to do a free draw while it's not snapping to the grid for more random sort of fixtures. But if you're more precise like myself, you can get out of draw mode and you can draw it in yourself. So you can wipe away the automation by selecting it all and pressing delete, because you're not in your note selector, so it won't delete your notes. As you can see, they're still here. So to be more precise, I used anchor points. So you go to the automation line with your mouse, click, and you'll create an anchor point. And so doing things like this can make sharp little cuts and builds or drops like that. And it'll just snap to the grid. So let's say you're happy with your envelope. Obviously I'm not, because I'm in pitch bend and that would sound god awful. But say if this was another parameter and you're all set to go, there is a few counterproductive measures that will take place. So first of all, they are easy to forget. Like, you probably will forget that they're even there. So you'll be off probably mixing away and making your track, and all of a sudden something will start sounding off, and you won't know what it is, and you'll have a look at your automation, it's like, oh, nothing's there. And by default, you'll be in your note editor and you won't even see it has an envelope. So using these is, you got to be pretty onto it, or you could convert it to audio to try and cut that out of the way. Another part of the commitment to envelopes is that there's a pretty occasional bug in Ableton where you'll add a pitch bend to your clip, and say if I had another clip over here with no automation on it, sometimes this clip will come out sounding weird and out of key because of a weird bug that Ableton have decided not to fix after 4 years. But it'll come out like a different sort of key and it'll be wrong, and I don't understand. But a good countermeasure for this is just converting it to audio. So when you go to just open up a new audio track, and once you've got the track soloed, hit up resampling, arm the track, and then record it. And yeah, so then you'll have your own little audio track that'll be straight out audio and it won't take in any wrong notes. So for a little demonstration, what I've got here is I've got the exact same lead, but I have just some little pitch bends in it that I've done with my envelopes. So let's say I'm happy with that. I'll go down and I'll go to resampling, record it, and I'll come out with something like this. So then I will not have to face any issues with the MIDI. Now moving on to automation, God's gift to producers, and oh yeah, I love it. Automation gives producers endless possibilities when it comes to creativity. In Ableton, we get this beautiful new layout to the arrangement view called Automation Mode. Automation Mode is basically an identical view to the arrangement view, but all the clips show automation lanes. This can be done by selecting the Automation Mode button in the top right, or by pressing the key A, so long as the goddamn computer MIDI keyboard note is turned off. Seriously, this thing sneaks its way on all the time. You can switch it off by pressing M on the keyboard or just switching it off. So once the computer MIDI keyboard switched off, you can either press A or go here to turn on the arrangement view. For this example, I'm going to be using the intro art for Flume's track Helix. So let's say I wanted to automate a filter on it. So I'll take away my filter here that I prepared earlier and start again. So let's add a filter to the track. So let's say I wanted to filter this in. By default, on the right side of your screen, your automation lanes should be set to mixer and track volume, or the last parameter that you touched. In my case, I touched the speaker on or off. These two drop downs give us the options to automate. The top bar gives us our source, hence either the synth we're using, an audio effect that we're using, or a MIDI effect. That's where the automation will be coming from. And below that we have the parameter of the source. So say I wanted to EQ the second band of my EQ. I'll go to the second band and click frequency, and it will automatically change here. It'll go to EQ8 into the second frequency. But instead, I want to automate the filter. So here, we'll go down to filter frequency, which is what I want to automate. So instead of having a low pass, I want to switch it to a high pass, and then click on frequency to set the automation lane as the parameter. So here I can go in and I can draw anchor points to what I want to hear. I can either draw in anchor points, or as the same as envelope mode, by pressing B, I can enter draw mode, and I could draw whatever I wanted and it'll snap to the grid, or by holding Control on Windows or Command on Mac, I can free draw whatever I like. So I just want a simple lead in. So now with the automation on, a little trick, by clicking the add automation lane, it'll always be there. So you won't lose sight of it and you won't be confused of what's automating, because whenever you open up the track, it'll be there. So here, if I listen to the track, so we've successfully automated our filter in, and the way that we can also tell this on our effects track is that the parameter that you've automated will have a little automation dot above it, signaling that this has just been automated. Now, automation can essentially just have millions and billions of possibilities. So you've got different ways that you can automate, more advanced sort of workflows. There I automated the filter cutoff of Serum actually. So here I have my filter cutoff, and there we have it. And so that by clicking on the lane, it's automatically gone to Serum filter cutoff. And you could even take things a step further, and by actually automating different synths as well, like what I've got here. I've got Native Instruments FM8, and I've made a sort of little talkbox synth where I've automated the mouth of the synth, and so it will sound a bit like this. Yeah, so also when you're automating on synth parameters, down here when you open up the little side box of the synth, you get to see your automation on the air. That was envelopes and automation, so I'll see you in the next video.